The Pledge of Allegiance, and
Put your right
Yeah.
hand over your heart there.
I ask for everybody's indulgence since I can't lift my right arm. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Here.
Commissioner Patton.
Here.
Commissioner Webb.
Here.
Commissioner Gahn.
Here.
And Mayor Ranella.
Here. Is there any additions or corrections to the minutes of December 10th, 2018, regular meeting? Hearing none, those minutes will be accepted. Special meeting, December 12th, 2018. Any additions or corrections? Hearing none, those will be accepted. Okay, I want to start off tonight's meeting over the weekend. We had a 30-plus year employee of the sewer department pass away unexpectedly, Scott Connell and McConnell. And thank you. And that's our water superintendent. So our hearts go out to the family in this in their time of need, and we put our blessings out to them. So, okay, anybody want to address the council tonight? Wow. Okay. Hearing none, we'll get into the agenda. Number 1, resolution for local funds improvement. Glenn, you want to address this, or you just?
Just briefly go over what it's about. The Department of Transportation, I actually approached us on this project, and that's the construction of a sidewalk from State Street to Fair Street on the north side along where Frosty Park is and through there. And what that will enable to be able to do is to make the Fair Street crossing with crosswalk, a paid crossing, if we are connected with a sidewalk from State Street. So we'd have an intersection like State Street and DeYoung at Fair and DeYoung. And we applied to Simple for funding. We get an 80%. We've applied for an 80% grant. They've tentatively approved it. It's an 80-20, but it won't be available until FY 2021, which means in July of 2020 begins the federal fiscal year. Your local share will be about 34,000.
Yep.
The federal share is 176,000, and that will be a very good improvement. We have right of way available for that construction. So that's kind of.
In a TIF district or anything, or that our part would just be motor fuel tax or something?
It can be it can be MFT, it can be.
It's not in the TIF.
So it's
No.
not in the TIF, so
Be gas
it
tax.
can be MFT, or it can be gas tax, or
Yeah.
whatever you elect to use.
Now, is this project part of that other crossing, that safe crossing?
No, it's the two different animals altogether.
They'll kind of go together though once it's.
They would go together, yes.
Yeah,
but
Glenn, that's what I was gonna suggest, to mesh the two projects to make sure that they work together, obviously. But if I understand you right, continuous sidewalk from Fair all the way down to State.
all the way to State,
On the north side of the
on
road.
the north side of DeYoung.
Now, how is the right-of-way handled up and down that area behind the right-of-way for 13? Is that where the sidewalk's gonna go?
The sidewalk will be between the curb line of DeYoung and the north right-of-way line of 13.
Okay, so
Now,
it will be
the-
on state right-of-way.
There's quite a bit of right-of-way behind the fence along Ray Frosty Park.
Right,
So if we have to move the fence back, that would be part of the project.
Okay.
If we need to get the additional right-of-way we need.
Will that be at their cost or the park district's?
That'll be part of the project cost,
Okay.
which would be an 80-20 split.
Okay. And also, if I'm right, in discussions we've had at Simpo meetings, that's also the year that they're gonna resurface 13, so they're gonna let that project get done and then
Yes.
proceed with these.
They would want the resurfacing done before we did the striping and everything there on Fair and DeYoung.
Yeah, if you look at the second page there, it's got it, fiscal year 2020, $136,000 and $34,000 total project, $170,000.
Yes.
So, we'll
But it would
definitely
be,
have the money, we'll have the money between the two.
you need 34,000,
Yeah.
which is not that much when you consider the project of that scope and what we'd be getting.
Right.
That comes out of the street department, obviously.
I think that would probably be
I
a
think you're right.
Yes.
proper decision.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I think it's
I-
only, since you're paying for it, I think it's only right you make the
I'll make the
motion.
motion to adopt that ordinance 3476.
I'll second.
Have a motion second.
I'm
Any,
sorry, that's not the resolution. Different one. That's old business. Resolution 2018-26.
yes.
That's the old business.
We got a motion to accept, resolution 2018-26 and a
I'll-
second.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goff.
Yay.
And Mayor Remella.
Yay. Approval of demolition bids, 1006 South Madison. Do we have those bids?
They're in my- I have real quick.
We've been busy today or something, or what?
No, I've just been sitting.
Yeah. Two bids.
There's just two bids.
Go ahead and open.
Okay, John, go ahead with yours.
Bid comes from Terra Pro. The amount of the unit price is $3,450. If I read that correctly?
$38.50.
Okay, you can leave the glass on. That's an 8.
Yes.
Looks like a 4 to me. $38.50.
I've got a bid from Neat Cut
Well,
for $3,175.
How much?
$3,175.
$31.75.
Neat cut?
Yep.
Up, that's right.
Look at that and see if you agree. It's a little bit hard to read, but I think I got that right.
Yeah. Don't ask me to read it. Was
First, I thought it was 43,000.
Yeah, that's what that 8 looked like a 4 to me too, but
Yes, $3,175. And that, occurs to demolish and remove the house, outbuilding, and any contents hauling of waste to a legally approved landfill. Demolition is to be started and completed within 40 days after notice to the successful bidder. And the bids will having been read on Wednesday, December 26, 2018. Okay, Neat got, is $3,175. They seem to be the low bid. I need a motion to accept that low bid.
I'll
Make
make
that
it.
motion.
We have a motion,
I'll second.
second. Any discussion? Hearing no further discussion. Call the roll.
okay. Okay. Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goff.
yay.
And Mayor Remella.
Yay. Ordinance 3484. This is a dirt hauling, ordinance that, Superintendent Phillips has been working on for some time and believes that it's, be proper to be put in place. Kathy and down in Codes has, also been working on this, and, we've had some instances over the last, several months where people just hauling in dirt on their properties, they're changing the grade. And when they do that and there's runoff, then that affects other people's property, which is not only against state statute, but other statutes of ours, or ordinances of ours as well. Kathy, would you like to address the council on this, or is, well, thank you. No. You didn't drive from Creel to not be heard.
Sure I did.
Oh,
Yeah, like you said, we've had several problems with people just bringing in dirt in floodplains or where have you. It's putting dirt onto other neighbors, which is causing a lot of issues. So we would like to pass this ordinance to protect the neighbors.
well, that and
Just around.
to alleviate any potential flooding conditions or that could occur from
Right.
this. Is that correct, Commissioner?
Yes. We've had a couple of problems like that recently.
Yes. Okay.
I guess one question though, who determines if it's gonna change the drainage?
Well,
pattern?
we've actually, if you look at the entire permit, if need be, we'll have the city engineers go out there and actually, twice within the last few months, we've had to send,
Yeah,
Claire de Ziegler out there to check grades, and actually, there was a, property that, was required to remove the dirt.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm very much in favor of this, but I
Yeah.
just wanted to make sure, because I could see discretionary, somebody say, well,
No.
I'm not changing anything.
It's, actually, the street superintendent will look at it, and then if it still still gets called to question,
yeah,
it will-
basically it'd be superintendent Phillips.
yeah.
And
Okay.
if they don't agree with him, then we get.
Then we have
Yeah.
the authority to bring in the city engineers to make a determination on behalf of the city.
I move it, adopt ordinance 3484.
What about enforcement?
It's
Yeah,
got
it
a
is.
penalty.
Huh? Yeah, no, but like, permits shall loads shall be sprinkled, spillage, I mean, those are all concerns, but who's gonna be doing that? Is that a street commissioner, street department?
Street superintendent will look over that.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll second that motion.
Yeah. I mean, actually, it says in the next to last paragraph, code enforcement or street department official or their designees. Okay, have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Renella.
Yay. Chris, we got some separations.
Yes, Council, Mayor. The item number 4 is essentially council meeting acknowledgement of reflecting already submitted employee separations in 2018 between December 5th to the current date. So the aforementioned, the listed employees on those particular dates were separated. Do you want me to name each one, or?
No.
You don't have to.
So those were already submitted, and it reflects 20 separations in 2018. We have had 50 separations with 53 hires with this list of 7.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion?
This is more of an acknowledgement than a vote, though. I mean, it's.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Don't we accept the resignation? by
Yes, we do.
council vote?
Yeah, we have in the past on other departments, yes.
Like these dates are,
These are submitted to the treasurer's office already.
I move
And
to
those are-
accept these resignations as listed.
We've got a motion,
I'll go ahead and second.
got a second. Hearing no further discussion, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
And Mayor Renella.
Yay.
Okay.
Okay, item number 5, we've had our freezer go out at the Boynton Street Community Center. The compressors went out for the second time in 2 years. That compressor is $3,500. As you can see, we can buy a new unit for $7,994. And so we're two compressors in at 7,000, so, I don't think it's, being good fiduciaries of the city, any need to spend any more money on compressors. And, it's my recommendation that, we, buy a new unit for $7,994 from Fowler Heating and Cooling. I would like a motion to that effect.
I'd make a motion to, purchase from Fowler Heating and Cooling the new refrigerator freezer. It costs us $7,994.
I'd like, did you only get one proposal?
He was the only one that could, no, actually, we got, Appliance Wizard, but they could, and Gary Rosin, but they could not come up with a commercial unit like that. Actually, Rosin wanted to replace the compressor, and I told, Stephanie that, no, we wouldn't do that. That's $10,500 into an old unit.
I had a question about replacing. I was just curious if we had somebody else that would like to propose it.
Yes, we did.
Okay.
They
that-
could
that was
not
my
get,
question.
yeah, no, they could not come up with a,
Okay.
commercial unit like he did.
What's the limit on that anyway? Is it 10,000 or 20,000 for competitive bids?
Oh, it's 30,000.
30?
30,
So-
under state statute.
I mean, it's still good practice to do so
Yeah.
anyway, but
Right, yeah.
legally, we're okay.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
yeah, I mean, we asked local people
Yeah.
to submit, and, Fowler's come up with a,
Everyone should get a shot at it, and you explain they have it, the ones you know,
Yes,
so that's good.
yes.
Okay.
locally.
Yeah.
In Marion. Did you make a motion, Jim?
Yeah, it's my motion, yeah.
I'll second it.
Got a motion second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
Mayor Vanella?
Yay. And then the last one is, request from, the Housing Authority Board to reappoint Jim Feemister to an additional, 3-year term. His term expires December 29th. And Diana Etheridge, Executive Director, asks that the city reappoint, Jim Feemister to another 3-year term.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion
I'll second it.
and a second? Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
Mayor Vanella?
Yay. Commissioner Hightower, you have anything for the council?
Just a couple of employees that are concerned about the letter that was given to supervisors about the hours of work, that don't put anything more than 8 hours, something to that effect. They just wanted some clarification on that directive.
Well, actually, that came from our labor attorney, and we've actually, do we have a, did he ever give us a clarification as to why?
Not a written reply, just a reply that said that they should, and it's only for supervisors, salaried employees, that they should work, have a minimum of so many hours, and it's a work requirement. It's not that a standard work week is what would be expected by the city.
So if they work 14 hours in the day, they're only supposed to put 8 down? I mean, is that the
Yes.
interpretation?
But it's the same as if you were a teacher and you graded papers or you did all these things. They don't get punch a time clock. Our attorney originally recommended that salaried employees shouldn't put anything down except present or absent, and if they're absent, if they were on a sick day or vacation day.
I mean, you're a finance commissioner. Are you comfortable with that? or-
No, I don't like it. I'd rather not have a timesheet period and just do it on the honor roll than to put in hours that they don't actually work. If they work 10 or 12 hours, I think they should put it down.
For salaried personnel?
For anybody, if you're there, how are you gonna track them? I'm not a lawyer, but it looks like there's a lot of ability there for the litigations. If, we won't try to get into too much of that, but if they have an accident after they've signed off at 8 hours and somebody says you weren't there because your timesheet said you're not there,
No,
It looks to me, you open up a lot, can of worms. There's a lot of ramification on that. And to me, you're asking some of these supervisors to put down figures that are not accurate. In fact, I don't call it falsifying. Well, I guess I would.
well, then,
Because if they're-
well,
if
hang
they-
on there. Now that gets the trust of your employees.
Well,
You're saying, well, we're
No.
not gonna get into it.
no, it's
over
not the,
that,
not
But,
the trust
you know, at
employees.
the same time, salaried employees are at-will employees. So, and you've put them in that position because you think that they were qualified and the best to be put in that position, or the city has, so. And I trust all our superintendents. I know they're putting in their 40 hours a week, plus.
I don't think anybody would question that. We got the best group of superintendents in many, many decades. They're all great people. But why would you not let them put down the hours they work actually, rather than just saying, oh, it's 8 hours?
Counselor, do you have a comment to that?
It seems to me that it's rather redundant to even have a salaried employee fill out a time card in the first place.
I agree.
That's what I don't understand. I'd be happy to talk to Rhett, but with your question, John, in terms of liability, if an employee is leaving work and there's an accident, it doesn't matter what time he necessarily left, it would still be determined that it was within the scope of his employment. So I think the employee, the city is gonna be affected similarly, regardless of if he put in an 8-hour day or a 14-hour day. And did Rhett mention why he wanted the 8 hours? That's what it was kind
No,
of.
he said he'd rather not have any.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would
And I
agree.
think he's right. He's got reason to say that too, and I agree with him.
And
I
John
think it
Hoffman
shouldn't be
told
done.
us that prior to ours, the timekeeping thing was just, it started when the federal law was going to change on the number of hours for pay. That was like 2 years ago, and federal law was going to change on the salary and exempt status, and it didn't change. So, but John Huffman had told us some time ago that salaried employees shouldn't keep a time card. And they don't really time in or time out, they just put down their hours. Or they could put present and absent and vacation or sick.
And that's my point, okay? They fill out a time card for 8 hours, showing 40 hours a week. They turn it in. Is their pay any different? No. I mean, it probably gets filed somewhere. That doesn't mean nothing. In my opinion, we shouldn't even be having those people fill out a time card, period. They're salaried.
So what about like, periodically, we consider like larger than average raises, and part of the justification used for that is they're working an exorbitant amount of hours. Without the empirical data to support that, I mean, how would you know that?
Exactly right.
I could tell you who works long hours already without even looking at it.
Yeah.
We don't.
I mean, that's,
Part of it is, if they're getting their job done, that's what we ask.
Well,
I think
And
one,
then why would, the only time.
I
we've
think
actually
you have a
asked-
very good idea what your street superintendent does.
exactly right. I know he works a lot more than 8 hours a day.
Absolutely.
And-
That's just part of that job.
And I have no problem with that. They expect it, we expect it, they're happy doing it. But I'm like Angelo was saying, how can you have any judgment on any of we won't get back into the ancient history, but you know, there are some timesheets out there that submitted hours that they didn't work. And I think that the timesheets ought to reflect the hours they actually work, so no matter what happens, we know they were there. I don't like this,
Well,
Now, as far as that you're saying that for the superintendents.
yes. Yeah. No, not on the timesheet, no. That's not on, that's a different deal,
That's,
yeah.
okay, so go over what you just said again, because I think I got lost.
well, I heard what he said, but to me, then that's a reflection of the commissioner. Then maybe not necessarily know what's going on in his department.
I agree with that.
Okay. Well, I mean, so you know what's going on in your department.
Sometimes,
So, well, with your superintendent, and then you've got your superintendent in charge of his employees,
yes,
which we've put him in there on behalf of the city.
right.
And that's no different than you being in charge of the fire chief and police chief. You've got to know if they're doing their job or not. You know, you as well as Brent and you with Tracy and Scott. So to me, I don't know, it's just like you just threw your other commissioners underneath the bus saying that they don't know, what's going on in their department, and I disagree with that
Right,
because I think every commissioner has a good idea what's going on in their department, and if they didn't, they would bring it before this council for us to act upon, and replace that individual that's in charge of that department.
I mean, like Ronald Reagan said, trust but verify. I mean, that's all we want to do.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Well, I mean, hey, guys, it's on us. If we don't, think that it's necessary to have our superintendents or salaried personnel, fill out time cards, then that's a decision this council can make, and we can move on it and further,
Here's the problem, though, you're gonna have to track their vacation and their other leave time,
That's-
so you're
well,
almost gonna have to
that's-
show that they worked a day or they took a day off.
And
Exactly
that's
right.
that's another form that you can fill out,
Yeah.
that you turn in as to your timekeeper, and the timekeeper keeps track of vacation days or sick days or whatever the day it is, as part of their leave balance.
I think in that regard, you're making a mountain out of a molehill there as far as vacation and sick leave. That's just a matter of making a click on a computer.
And at some point, I would like to have a review of if the supervisors are all qualified to be salary exempted and be termed supervisors.
Actually, I think we have done that
Well,
with our labor attorney.
I haven't seen that ruling, but that's okay.
Well, he's gonna be here Friday. You can just ask him,
Okay.
all right?
I'll be here Friday at 1 o'clock.
He'll be here Friday at 1 o'clock. He'll be here Friday, and the last ones that we put into that category, he looked at the Fair Labor Standard Act and give us the opinion that they qualified, and we moved on it in regards to his opinion, and I trust that opinion. He's a very valued attorney, and if he tells me something, then I believe it to be factual.
I know, and hopefully I don't get in trouble by saying this, but where I'm employed now, we went through the same thing. And I'm a supervisor, we had put down, if I worked 14 hours, I'd put down 14 hours on my pay.
Exactly right.
Well, they didn't want us to do that anymore. They said, because that builds up too much liability for the company.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You know, you
And
could
that's
turn that in and say,
exactly where-
I want paid for all that
That's
overtime.
exactly where Rhett was coming from without bringing that up, but since you brought it up, that's a great.
So what they do now, we just put 8 hours, just like we're doing here.
It's the same way at my place of employment. It's
It shows you've worked a day,
It's a
but
sign in, sign out sheet. I sign in at the beginning and sign out at the end of the day. I don't even fill out a time card. But that record of me being there from point A to point B is a matter of record, and I don't even fill out a time card.
Yep. I can go along with that. Yep. Anyhow,
Yeah.
that discussion is up for discussion, Angelo. I'm glad you brought it up. I voiced my opinion, and we'll go from there.
What was that? Discussion's up for discussion?
Yeah, we brought it up for discussion. And we've had a discussion.
What's that mean, Goss?
What discussion? I mean, we talk about it.
Okay. Anything else?
Now, only other thing is, and I don't know to the extent you may want to weigh in on this too, David. There's been a lot of speculation and, concern over the mall. Is there maybe at some point we can have like a public hearing and just put all the info out about the mall, any liabilities, et cetera? I mean, there's just a lot of people concerned about that. Is that anything that we can do?
Well, I mean, I guess right now, the best answer we could probably give is that there's pending litigation, can't comment at this point, but in the future, I think it would be a good idea to maybe consider that.
Because, I mean, that's been the standard answer we've given for a long time. I just wonder at what point are we going to be able to answer some of these questions?
Been old business for a long
We have,
time.
our insurance company has hired
It's old
Attorney
business.
Joseph Flyer to defend the city.
Thank you.
So you would have to direct that to him.
Brian would be here tonight. He's
Uh,
the one that
because
Okay,
Attorney
well, we let it ride.
Lawler here does it, and that's actually handled through our insurance company.
Is Doug happy with that?
That's all I got.
I don't know if you've seen it, I guess. Only thing I've seen is right here.
Yeah.
I'll run it by him tomorrow.
That's all I got.
Okay, all right.
Good.
You're good?
Nothing further.
No reports? Nope. Too early for a DUI?
Yeah.
Okay.
Get you
Yeah.
next time.
Yeah, next meeting we'll have some.
Yeah.
Commissioner,
I make a motion to pay the monthly bills, funds become available.
got a motion?
Second.
Got a second? Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
And Mayor Vanella.
Yay.
I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
Second. I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
And Mayor Vanella.
Yay. Anything else, gentlemen? Okay, I need a motion to adjourn
I'll make that
until
motion.
January the 14th, 2019 at 6:30.
But there is a hearing this Friday, right? Or,
Yes.
okay.
Yep.
At 1
Okay.
o'clock.
Motion and
Does that
a,
need to be announced?
I don't think so.
Okay,
He didn't say, Rhett didn't say nothing about it, so.
okay.
Got a motion and a second to adjourn?
Second.
Okay. Hearing no discussion, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
Mayor Vanella.
Yay. Thank you, gentlemen.